Dandadan Volume 3, we have a new character, aliens are back, more spirit, and an epic fights and transformations as well. Let's get right back into it. Dandadan Volume 3 starts off with Okarun and Momo staring down the Silky Acrobat and deciding what they're going to do. Eventually they decide to start running, but we find out that this is Acrobat's natural great kind of terrain. She can do tricks all around, and she catches up to Okarun and Momo, who are running, and stomps on Momo. As the fights go on, she goes ahead and kicks Okarun out of his turbo grainy state. Silky starts going back for Araya. Araya is seemingly passed out, but then we later learn that she's dead. But the good news is Momo and Okarun has tied up Silky's hair by running all around in a way that will tinker her hair in all the steel beams. Then we have Momo ISA holding down her legs, make sure she can't move so that Okarun can go away or run away. As Silky starts to break out of Momo's hold, Okarun then hits Silky with a crazy strong headbutt attack in his turbo grainy state. Silky seems to ultimately to be defeated, but then we do get Okarun's ball back, which we are all happy about, and then we get the confirmation that Araya is dead. Momo Okarun then tries to resuscitate Araya, but it turns out it doesn't work, and that is something totally different. But then Silky comes back up, who is somehow not fully defeated, but she does have a change of heart. She calls out to her daughter Araya, and she explains how Momo and Okarun can res her by giving Silky's aura to Araya, and that we learned that humans or spirits, and probably same thing with aliens, cannot live with their aura being depleted. And as a promise and showing of trust that Silky won't try anything sneaky while Silky's giving out her aura, she tears her mouth open and says, "Here, I promise, you don't got nothing to worry about." Momo then connects Araya and Silky with her KCM arms and begins resing Araya. But then we get this great panel. Looks like it's full of memories, and then actually soon after that we learn more about Araya's mom's childhood and how their relationship was as mother and daughter. We actually learned that Araya's mom was a prostitute, but she also loved dancing, and eventually a pimp named Schlickback came to get his money, took her daughter, and she goes and runs out in the street wanting her daughter, crying in the rain. Very sad scene. And then we get a nice group of panels that shows her love for dancing, and that's how she decided to take her life and how she was feeling in the moment, and it was done really, really beautifully. We then get more insight into Araya and her mother's relationship, and that she mistaken this one lady as looks like acrobatic Silky, and she thought that was her mommy. And then we see that Araya was always concerned about her mom and asking her dad when will mommy come back and things like that, of course. You then have acrobatic Silky thinking about how she's saying that she's that she's Araya's mother and she should have protected her, and just lots of regrets that she has. But then Okarun took that as acrobatic Silky was doing something because Momo started crying, but then Momo just to stop, and that Araya has came back to life. And as Araya's come back to life, acrobatic Silky is dissipating slowly, and Araya's finally getting her final words to her mother, and she says that she was always happy, and that she was the best mom, and that Araya loves her mother and gives her a hug before she is then sent off. We then cut back to everybody's at Dory's house. Everybody's having some food, and then we get deeper understanding of how Momo's feeling and Aria's feeling, and they apologize to each other, and Aria's convinced that Momo and Okarun is a demon, but it turns out that Aria has some feelings for Okarun, and Momo was not having that. She's like, that is my man, don't fuck with him, that's hers. But aside from that, Dodoria and Turbo Granny goes to help Okarun get his ball back and put it back inside him, I guess. And they played baseball with this testicle, which is interesting. Dodoria got struck out. She has to take those L's. But they get it back in them, and then we cut back to they're in school. But then Momo wanted to hang out with Okarun for lunch, and Okarun was like, "Oh, and after bit of a pour." And then she said, after school, Okarun saying that he's a little bit busy, and Momo just gives up, and she's thinking back in her mind that something's wrong, and that definitely sounded like sus or a lie. And so she went to go buy drinks for her and her friend, and then as she was walking back to class with the drinks, she sees my man Okarun on top of Aria with no context. You already know what was going on. If you didn't see my initial reaction, you gotta tune into those streams, We then get a flashback, start of chapter 19, of what actually happened. Okarun was trying to work out, get strong for Momo so he can protect her better. And then Aria came up wanting a kiss, trying to confess her love, and she said she got that from dirty magazines from her dad's den. But then Okarun tried to wrestle her. He wrestles her to the ground, and as she's on the ground, she's still trying to give Okarun a kiss. She's not giving up. But yeah, Okarun tries to explain to Momo, but she's not having it. She's just like, you're a fucking liar. You just want to talk to other girls and be on other girls and try to kiss them. And she's heard enough, and she don't want to hear anymore. We then learn about, we then go back to class. She's, in a bummy mood, and we learn about the mantis shrimp, which is one of the most powerful animals in the world. It has a strong punching force, even underwater with all that water resistance. And keep that in mind for later. But then we come back to Okarun, and he's like, he shouldn't be making any excuses or lying, and how Momo is right. But then we see that the whole school has some water flooding issues going on, and that only Aria and Okarun are near each other. But then when we go to Momo, there's a strange creature that looks like a Loch Ness monster. If I'm not gonna lie, I said that on stream, and here we go, chapter 20. We learned that it's literally called a fucking Nessie. So it is the Loch Ness monster, in my eyes anyway. We then see that this Loch Ness monster has fucking laser beam or energy beam, something, and destroys part of the school. And Momo's worried about Okarun, trying to find them. Then we go back, we revisit the aliens that we saw in volume 1. This one's a bit of a boxer, and getting some good hits in. But then Okarun, of course, transforms. But then it's shortly stopped by the Serps, and they're back trying to take Okarun's banana organ for his power. Okarun tells Aria to get away because women are their primary target. Okarun is then stripped naked and then saved by Aria, who has unlocked Acrobatic Silky's powers, which is very nice. And she has saved Okarun. So the aliens are shocked that the Aria also has like superhuman powers, and yeah, my man Okarun's trying to find some clothes. You know how he is at this point. He acts like he's not that, but he's actually that. Come on. Aria was holding her own against the aliens a bit, boxing, dodging shit, all going well. And then punches are destroying the whole classroom. But the Serps start using their powers. Aria gets one of the aliens' head stuck in the roof, and now is focused on the Serp, which slams her into a wall with their psychokinetic powers, which then stops her streak going on, and that they are now kind of outnumbered to the Serps, one of the boxing aliens. I'm not sure if they're also called Serps. A boxing alien punches Area through a wall, and then also she keeps saying, "I'm a chosen one," and there's like, yeah, you know, you're chosen to get experimented on by us, hey. But then you have Okarun stepping up and saying, yeah, I protect her even though he's naked, so he transforms to Turbo Granny. But then the Serp activates his other powers again and slams Okarun to the ground, making them unable to transform. But then Okarun transforms anyway, I believe because of the help of Momo, and Okarun lands a nice, strong headbutt on the boxing alien. Momo then learns that Area has acrobatic Soki powers, but then they all get stopped by the Serp psychokinesis because Momo keeps getting distracted by Area. Then the Serps and the boxing alien, they then merge, and turns out he has a stronger punching power, I should say. Momo's powers counteracts the Serp psychokinesis, and then Area and Okarun are able to transform and go for the offensive, which essentially doesn't work. You have Area hit by an uppercut, but then Okarun goes in for the save, saying he can see the punches, and then Area and Okarun work together to take down the Serps in a kind of dancing fashion, which again distracts Momo, and they get hit with the psychokinesis power again. And then the entire school building fills up with water, and they're kind of trapped. Okarun cannot transform because he'll start drowning, and then also you have the Loch Ness Monster appearing as well. Last chapter of the volume, aside from Area glazing Okarun, they try to get away from the Serps and the Loch Ness Monster, and then Area is shot up into the area above them with the merged Serp attack, because the punch is stronger underwater, just like a praying mantis. But the thing is, he cannot breathe underwater, so he has to come up to get some air for a bit because he does not have skills. And of course, Okarun cannot transform in the water, so they try to get away, and they're trying to hurry up and save Area because she will drown, because she's also in the water even though it's above them. It's kind of like a weird scene. And then you have Momo and Okarun arguing a little bit, and you know, Okarun tries to get Momo to tell her what was wrong, and that, you know, he wants her to understand what really happened. But then they get distracted by the alien, and then Momo figures it out, how to make them swim faster, and she says she grips Okarun with her KCM arm powers, and then she just squeezes them forward, and they go really fucking fast, and they're able to jump up to the second story, save Area, and then focus back on the fight with the Loch Ness Monster. But then the merged Serp and all the other Serps merged in with the Loch Ness Monster, which then becomes this, don't even know what to call it, but this insane looking monster. And that was pretty much all of volume 3. Pretty exciting. A lot of stuff went down. I really am enjoying the series, and I like how the story's building and the character building, like the whole thing with Aria's mom and Momo and Okarun's relationship. It's all good. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to tune into the streams. Alright, I'm trying to get more on time with those, so just keep an eye out. Like I said, subscribe, notification bell, everything on. Peace.